Hey there, my apprentice learner. So in this video, we're going to go over how to go from vertex to standard form, as well as quickly just review how to find the vertex from an equation. So if you're watching this video, that means you tested out of the novice workshops. You're going to watch this short video and then come back when it is your check-in time for the apprentice workshop. So first things first, we have to differentiate between the two forms we're going to be working with. So we have vertex form, the one we're familiar with, or the one that got introduced in the puzzle at the start of the lesson, which is f of x equals a x minus h squared plus k. Now there's some important things we need to know or notice. Your h value and your k value are very, very important because, see if I can find my pens, my vertex is h comma k. Keeping in mind though, however, it is always opposite for the number that's inside the parentheses, and you keep the same sign for the numbers that's outside the parentheses. So vertex form tells us the vertex of a graph. Now for standard form, it has its own reasons why we would change the standard form, but generally what it is that standard form tells us the x-intercepts. So this ax squared plus bx plus c is what we consider standard form. Notice it looks different from this one. There's no parentheses, everything got multiplied out and distributed. Now in this case, if we set it equal to 0, if you remember from a previous unit, we can solve for x. So this is where we did our box method to find x and did factoring. So vertex form specifically tells us the vertex without having to graph, and standard form specifically tells us, or we can use standard form to find the x-intercepts without having to graph. So going to vertex to standard, there's generally some steps. So we're going to end up, or start with vertex form, and our steps are we're going to expand the binomial, so this middle part here, using the box method. Then we're going to distribute the number in front of the parentheses, and then we're going to combine the like terms. So we're going to go from here, math happens, and we're going to end up here. So let's look at an example. So we have example 6. So for example 6, I kind of already set up the box and filled it in for you, but our first step was to expand the binomial using the box method. This is the binomial we're talking about, the x plus 3 squared. As a reminder, when you're squaring something, you're multiplying it by itself. So for example, 4 squared is just 4 times 4, 10 squared is 10 times 10. So x plus 3 squared is really just x plus 3 times x plus 3. So this is polynomial multiplication, so this is where we use our 2 by 2 box, and we say, okay, x times x is x squared, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 3 is 9, and we always ended up combining our diagonals since they are like terms. So 3x plus 3x is 6x. So notice I expanded this x plus 3 squared to now be x squared plus 6x plus 9. So that's my next line here. So I went from this line to this line. So now I'm going to the second step, distribute the number in front of the parentheses. Notice I wasn't done. So when I expanded this on the inside, I did not touch the 2 on the outside, nor did I touch this plus 6 on the outside. So I still have to get rid of those numbers. So I'm going to start with the 2. I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to draw arrows from the 2 going to each number in the parentheses. So 2 times x squared is 2x squared, 2 times 6x is 12x, 2 times 9 is 18, and then I didn't do anything with the plus 6, so I just keep it. That goes on to my last thing I have to do, which is combining like terms. So notice here, I end up at this line now. So this from here to here is how I got the box method. From here to here is where I distributed. I want to combine like terms. Now notice there's no other number that has an x squared, so I cannot combine this 2x squared with anything. I just bring it down, it stays the same. Similarly, the 12x, there is no other number that just has an x. So it stays the same, I bring it down. However, these two numbers are both numbers without a variable. They're both constants. So I can add them together. 18 plus 6 is 24. So this is my answer in standard form, my ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is a pretty straightforward short video, so what I would suggest is use this time to start working on your homework, work on the first 2 problems from your homework assignment. You're free to go back into the Zoom and before the check-in if you would like, or just wait until your check-in time. So I'll see you guys back in Zoom.